Hello everybody, this is J. Richard Varvel, coming to you live today from the hills of East Bakersfield, one of my favorite spots. Not only because I love it out here, it's beautiful, it's like nature 5 minutes away from home, but it's also 5 minutes away from home. And this morning when I got up, I had this just kind of like headache. My third eye was kind of achy, and so I felt a little cloudy because of that at first, but I just used my intentions and focused healing, and just had some fun on my car ride over here, and that really has helped me feel better. There's been a lot of wind in Bakersfield, and so I used to claim them as my allergies, and I have realized that that's not a good idea. So I have been experiencing allergy symptoms that are, of course, passing through. And I've said it before on the show, but I don't know if I went into this detail about it, but I will take a picture of the bottle when I get home. But it's some kind of Native American healing remedy that I got at Lassen's, and it's really helped me the last time I had a flare-up with allergy symptoms, and I know it's helping me this time. Plus I've got some mushroom, they're little capsules, but they're like mushrooms that help for immunity. So I've been using that to assist me in working through these symptoms, because in the past they would turn into like a cold or to like a sinus infection or bronchitis or something ridiculous like that, and I'd always have to get an antibiotic in order to get rid of it, and sometimes 2 rounds of antibiotics, and every now and again it'd be 3 rounds. And so I can only imagine what kind of crazy nonsense was going on with my body at that time, and what just my body having to deal with what it was dealing with, and then excuse me, and then also on top of that, then what our bodies have to go through when we take antibiotics. And again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not here to get into disputes with anybody, but antibiotics are not all that they're cracked up to be, and it really is better if we are able to have our own immune system, and even if we're supporting it in different ways, but have our own immune system do the job. That's far more beneficial to us, because I don't know if you've heard or not, but there will be a point where there won't be an antibiotic that's strong enough to get rid of these superbugs, and then what are people going to do? So it's really good not to be, at least from my perspective, and again, I'm not a doctor, but it's good if we can get ourselves away from quote unquote needing those kind of things to get better, and figuring out different ways where we can use plant medicines and food, nutritious food, to help us and get the job done in, I say, a better way, because we're actually giving our body the tools to do its job and do what it does best. It knows how to heal itself. It's just oftentimes it's depleted in one way or the other from some nutrition or even some energy, and so that is what causes us to get a little bit wonkadoodle, and then these energy issues turn into literal body symptoms. Okay, that's a real simplistic view. So anyways, don't get too caught up on what I just said there, because it's far more complex than that. However, everything does start in the energy, and then it does manifest here in the physical. And so I see any kind of ailment as sometimes, and most of the time, some kind of physical representation of some kind of resistance, or some kind of, it's a representation of something that isn't fluid in the energies. I'll say that. That feels like that's not judging it, it's just leaving it kind of open for us to all have our experience with that. Okay, so let's get into the card reading of the day. I'm gonna grab my cards. And we'll spin around here for a different view. Okay, card reading of the day. And good morning, Sean. Welcome to the show. And I want to take this opportunity to also thank Sean. He joined me yesterday live for a new moon ritual that I did on Instagram Live, and that was different. I like it in some respects, but I also really do like Facebook's app as well as how it's set up a little bit better. And then also I just noticed there is now a way that I can we can do the Facebook Live thing, and we can do it split screen, and people can join in with me. So I just saw that pop up today, so I'm gonna read that after the show and figure out how that works, and then people can join me live. How exciting will that be? So but back to Sean. Thank you for joining me on that inaugural use of Instagram Live. I get the sense that I'm gonna use that more for probably shorter on the fly kind of live, and keep Facebook as my longer use recorder because it's just easier to archive with Facebook, and then also to be able to move it over to my YouTube account, and then to VidMe. But thank you for joining me, because it was great having a person in the physical with me to experience the ritual and to experience the activity, and also to have to bounce off ideas and different understandings. And I just find that to be so valuable, and I appreciate it very much. And so yeah, I'm excited for new moons and full moons to come, and I will continue to get better and better about giving everybody advance notice, and so there can be a community developing here locally in Bakersfield, or wherever I happen to be physically located that month, as well as a community that can develop via the live feed via Facebook. All right, so now let's get to the card reading of the day. Card reading of the day. Let's see. I feel so much better now. It was a wild morning. It was a little rough start, but it's much better now. So thank you everybody for that. This gives me something to look forward to in the mornings. All right. Oh, Divine Feminine. Hello, Divine Feminine. She's come up before. All right, so one thing to clear up, I think, with this whole idea of Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine, and I see it as a way that we can describe these different energies, these different universal source creator energies, God force energies, that's, whatever you want to call them. But a way for us to, again, in our humanness, put some human understanding to these God energies. And so we've classified them in masculine and feminine. But really, they're unified forces. They're both. And it's more about, I see when we describe them in that way, like separating them out, is more of how we get to learn them again. For those of us that have separated ourselves from our God forces, or separated ourselves from, how do I want to say that? If we've been living in the separation age experience and totally having a full-on experience in that way, where we are totally disconnected from our connection to the all that is, and totally disconnected from what we can tell to our inner guidance, and then we decide to re-engage those parts of ourselves, remember what it's like to be connected again, then it's oftentimes easier to describe these energies as we're learning them and classify them and give them names, as well as like energies like Archangel Michael and Jesus and any of the other Ascended Masters, or any ones of the angelic realm. These are just energies. They're not, well, at least not to me, they're not literal, and they're alive. These are conscious beings. I say yes to that, but they don't even necessarily call themselves Archangel Michael, or they don't necessarily call themselves Jesus or Buddha. Those are names, again, that they have taken on to fill roles here on planet Earth. And just like my name is J. Richard Varvel here on planet Earth right now, who knows what my soul name is like I would imagine it to be more of a vibration and like a sound wave of some kind, or a tone. You know, that is more how I would see my universal name or my universal signature. So again, it's just a little bit of reimagining and re-understanding what words are, what we can use them for to our benefit. And so let me get back on track to the card as Divine Feminine. So when I see the Divine Feminine from the kind of the foundation I just laid as far as describing them more as energies, I see that we have a system, a patriarchal system that is more masculine, quote unquote, driven. It's a little bit harder, a little bit rougher, more aggressive. It's survival of the fittest. And so now there's an energy coming in that's softer. There's more of a flow. It's really working smarter, not harder. And it's being able to use our conscious awareness and our internal guidance system and our intuition, as bringing that all into the mix. And those are all more feminine aspects. And so it's like literally balancing out what was out of balance between the masculine and feminine energies. But again, the God frequencies, the God energies are very unified. I don't see them as being separate or just feminine or just masculine. So just leaving that door open, see what your team how your team wants to show you those energies, and how you can utilize those energies for your highest and best good in this now moment. So right now, what I'm seeing is just with the potential of World War III, and this whole idea of war, it's again back in the forefront of everyone's mind. There's been a war going on in the background for a while now, and now it's coming more to the surface, more to the front line, so to speak, for people to see that it's really happening. And right now I see collectively it's important for us to really take a look at this situation and, ask ourselves, is it really what they're saying it is? And what's really going on here? What are the driving forces? Maybe I want to do some research here. As well as, do I still really believe in war? Do I really see that as a benefit? Do I really see that war and more war is going to create peace somehow? Like, I personally don't see how war and more war is going to create peace. So for me, I see in order to get to peace, we have to find some kind of peace within, and then allow that to radiate out into our experience. It's not going to come from fighting each other. Like liberty and justice for all, as much as we've all been taught, it all comes from fighting. I really don't believe that, because that doesn't make any sense. Fighting just gets more fighting. War begets more war, just like peace begets more peace, and love begets more love. It's not the opposite of the we've been taught it to be. Let me just see here what else I want to say. It's like we got big and small and big and small on this one. It's fascinating how that worked. Well, I'll leave it at this. I feel like there's some more to the stories about to arrive as far as the mainstream media. And so that's going to be real interesting to see then how we're going to disseminate that information and then use it to our advantage. I feel like that's the best thing we can do for ourselves, is each one of us using this information for good, to create win-wins, and to not get caught up in the heaviness of it. So Divine Feminine, again, also too, is a reminder. It is important to tune into our intuition. It is important to get out into nature and to feel our connection to the earth. That does do something for us. That does ground out our energy, and it does bring us back into the rhythms, the earth energy. We're from the earth. That's very healthy and that's very healing, as well as being out in the sun, tuning us and literally charging up our field with the sun energy. So I know there's a whole lot of stuff about skin cancer and to be terrified of the sun. So again, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not telling you to do anything that you aren't comfortable with. However, I like to be out in the sun, and I find it to be very beneficial, so I'll say that. All All right, it feels like it's time for the meditation, and I'm feeling it's like an interesting energy today. Like I feel like I'm a little bit like from how I felt in the morning getting up, feeling kind of like almost like I was hungover, like I drank or something and I didn't have anything to drink, to now feeling good on my drive up here, to now having a little bit of feisty fight kind of energy like coming through. This is interesting, very interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the meditation, the 11-11 meditation. And if you would like to join in with me, go ahead and close your eyes and begin to grow roots from the base of your spine and the bottoms of your feet down into the center of Mother Earth, consciously connecting to the earth energy as well as grounding out your energy. And let's take a moment to take a deep breath together. Really just when we do that, filling up your tummy area, really taking a nice good deep breath again. Yes, letting it all out. Dropping your shoulders if those are feeling like they're more up towards your ears. Excuse me. And just feeling into your connection with the earth energy, taking this moment to say hello and send your love and gratitude to Mother Earth, and take a moment to wait for a response back from her. I see Mother Earth as this, I see her as this beautiful, almost Pocahontas looking, just for description, like physical description. And she just spins up through the center of me, and she always does a fun twirl. And that's how I connect with the earth energy and how I view her in a physical sense. I trust each one of you have your own sense of what Mother Earth feels like. Mother, Father Earth, it's again not just a feminine energy. And it would be awesome to at some point down the road have some discussions about that, like how we view and sense these different energies. I think that could be very beneficial to us to share, and so we can all see how different as well as similarly we tune in. All right, now I'd like you to become aware of a small personal sun burning within your heart space, burning very bright. And I would like you to begin to grow this personal sun brighter and brighter and bigger and bigger. And I'd like you to notice, like from the back side of your eyes, like you can feel your inner self, your inner world getting brighter and brighter and lighter as your sun grows and bigger, growing it past your physical bodysuit out. We're going to take it out 44 feet today. So really growing our sun out huge to 44 feet all around us. And again, this is powered from the source creator energies, sourced from within us, radiating and shining out like a star in every direction, creating this giant sun that's 44 feet all around us. And we are in the center of it. And this is our energy. This is our energy signature. This is our unique frequency, which gives us our personality and creates and animates our personal reality. And also gives us our unique perspective and our ability to tune into different unique abilities. And I want to really have you be open to what these abilities could be and how they can be anything. These abilities, we've had this idea that they have to be, more superhero kind of abilities. And not that those aren't part of what's going on here, but there's also different, more subtle gifts and abilities, and those are often just as powerful and creating more love and light out into the world. And so be open to allowing yourself to be very unique and different in how you express yourself. All right, we're going to lift off in our sun now. And we're going to go to the Sphinx. We're heading over to Egypt, and we're flying faster than a flash, getting there as quick as the snap of my fingers. And I would like you now to fly now through the Sphinx and go down underneath the Sphinx into the chambers that are underneath the ground, that are below what we know to be the Sphinx. And I would like you to notice a huge, giant cavern, and within that cavern are rows and rows and rows of books and scrolls and ancient parchment paper, as well as ancient stone carvings. And it's infinitely huge, rows and rows in every direction. All you see is information. And I would like you to now put your hands out. And I would like you to just begin to feel yourself tuning to the energies of this space. Utilizing your hands to literally begin to tune in to the information that is within the books, within the scrolls and the stone carvings and everything else that is in this huge, beyond belief cavern. Literally infinite rows and rows and rows of information. Earth history, our history, all encoded within this Akashic record. And I would like you just to, again, with your hands out, tune to these energies, knowing that we don't have to read every single book. We don't have to know all this information like in any given moment, but we have access to it in any given moment. And when we consciously utilize our internal guidance system, we're able to, at will, pull from this information, pertinent information for that moment for us. That is how powerful we are. So again, we are tuning into these Akashic records. And for today, we are tuning in for the records. We're literally tuning into all of them, remembering our connection to them here in this meditation. And we're also tuning and asking for a piece of information that is going to serve our highest and best good for this now moment. So whatever it is that our team, that our highest, biggest self would like to bestow upon us now, quote unquote, be open for that message, be open for that awareness, be open for that aha moment. And again, remember, you're able to come back to this space, tuning into all the records of the earth. This is literally all the information from all the civilizations that have ever been, as well as all of the information about the creation of this beautiful, wondrous planet. It's all here in this Akashic record, as well as everything to happen in the future. All is there. All right, wonderful, beautiful. I would like you now to thank your team, thank the earth, give yourself a big hug. Great job, everybody. And now I would like you to fly in your sun back to wherever you are physically located, and you are back faster than a flash because we are not bound by time and space or gravity or the speed of light. And we are back in our physical body, and I would like you to begin to wiggle your fingers and toes and become aware of your physical body whenever you are ready, opening your eyes. I'm going to get a drink of coffee. Okay, so that's going to do it for today, peeps. It was a great show. Thank you for going on this journey with me. It's always so fun to see where the energies lead us in the mornings, weekdays here at 11. And Sean, his comment, he said, thanks for having me. It was a powerful and fun experience. So thank you for that, Sean. Again, thank you for being willing and open to have that experience. It's not always easy to do something on the fly without a whole lot of, just to be able to be in the moment. So I appreciate you being willing to do that with me. And I want to thank all of you for joining in live with me this morning, as well as all of you that tuned in with me in the archives. It is always a great pleasure of mine to see and tune in to all of you in the mornings and feel into your energies. And now we're going to wrap up the show on this cloudy, breezy day here in Bakersfield. We will be back tomorrow for the last show of the week. But in the meantime, I want to surround everybody with a big, huge, giant hug of love. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Bye-bye.